Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. It is Wednesday, September 24th. Thanks for being here. Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message, more Red Mic therapy for me. Got a job interview today. So I'm going to talk about how job interviews, honestly, they can be a little bit like prepping for a game. I've been doing a lot of prep for the interviews I've had, and there's a lot of things in common. When I coached, we had one game a week, and you'd prep, you'd try to put as much into that practice as you knew to try to prep for the team you were playing. Sometimes we would have scouting reports from other teams. Some other teams took it a lot more seriously than we did. I know this one team, if they were playing within an hour of where their next week's game was going to be, they would go watch the game. And if that wasn't going to happen, they would watch them a week or two in advance. Like, you've got way too much time on your hands for a volunteer coach job. But the week of a game, it wasn't just about showing up. We would do everything we could to try to prep the kids. Now, in high school, of course, we would watch film and, look for those sort of tendencies and stuff like that. We'd break down their strengths and their weaknesses and all of that. And then we would hit the field for our drills and our practice and going over the plays over and over and over and over again. That way, when kickoff happened, we weren't guessing. We were ready. Job interviews work the same way. Whether it's a company, whether it's a state agency, whether it's an association, whether it's a nonprofit, study your team. That's your film session. That's your chalk talk. That's learning the role just the way you would learn what their two guard does on certain pulling downs, pulling plays. Going through mock questions, either in front of a camera or in front of a mirror. That's practicing. Going over your answers, your stories until they flow naturally. That's all part of game planning. That's your pregame warm-up, man. And having a good coach, it's worth its weight in gold. And I found a lady, saw somebody refer to her as the redheaded HR lady, the redhead interview expert. Her name is, and I hope I'm pronouncing this last name right, Anna Papalia. She's got tips all over Facebook and LinkedIn, and if you see her, you'll know who I'm talking about. She's a coach at heart, I think, because she says stuff like this. When they ask, how are you? Don't shrink back. Step in strong. I'm great. Thank you. How are you? And she reminds you that it's conversation. While they're interviewing you, you should sort of be interviewing them as well. And it's not being arrogant. It's having a presence that lets them know, I can see myself working with this person. I think I can be long-term comfortable with this person sharing the same break room and, conference rooms and meetings and stuff like that. And that's the sort of team dynamic you want them to think about. She says stuff like, well, why did you leave your last job? Don't say that you outgrew it or I wanted to come here so I could fix you. Don't be that guy. Instead, highlight what you do well and what you bring to the table now. That's using the playbook that you have already perfected. Here's getting into the weeds a bit, but you've got to know your own style. You've got to recognize there. Some interviews, they might try to test your toughness. They might almost be adversarial. I had an interview one time where before the interview, the guy was very chummy and friendly. And then during the interview, he came at me like a tag dog. It was not just off-putting, it was just really bizarre. Well, come to find out, he had somebody that he already wanted to hire. And sometimes that's going to happen. You just got to be ready for it. There's nothing you can do about that. Just go in there and be yourself. More often than not, the people on the other side of the table, they're like the Bobs in Office Space. They're just trying to find out information. Unlike the Bobs, where they say they're just rooting for you, honestly, in an interview, they are rooting for you. They could be your biggest fan and you just don't know it. Because maybe they saw something on your resume or in your application that they went, I like this person. I want to work with them. And even if that hasn't happened, again, they want you to succeed because I don't know if you've ever been in interviews on the other side of the table, but have you ever been in an interview where everything just goes poorly and you bounce between feeling bad for the person to really just thinking in your head, when will this be over? This is excruciating. They don't want that to happen either. So go in there. You've done your game work. You've done your prep. You've done the practice. You've done everything you need to be prepared. So go in there and relax. It's a conversation. Don't think of it as them shining this bright spotlight on you and the first misstep, a trap door's going to open. It's not. So when that first question comes, don't panic. There's no need. You're prepared. Don't force it. Lean into your prep, lean into your training, lean into your confidence. Again, they want that for you. They really do. Now, in sports and in life, you're not going to win all the time. I've gotten bad news about a couple of jobs over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, let it sting for a little bit. It might knock you out of your steps for a day or two, but then you just got to strap up again and get back out there. So if the ball bounces funny and you don't have a great game, okay, it's all right. There's another game coming. You'll get there. If you prepare, you compete, and you leave it all on the field, walk away with your head high. You know that you did everything you could do, and sometimes that's all there is. So don't fret. Don't be worried about it. Play your game the way you know how. Go out there and be confident. That's the advice I'm going to follow today. Because over time, that mindset is going to stack up victories. It's going to stack wins. Preparation plus effort builds confidence, and confidence builds success. And on the field, in the locker room, in life, or across the interview table, that success is going to be evident. And eventually, they're going to say, hey, we want you on our team. Welcome aboard. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. Wish me luck at 11:30 today. It's your tradition. If it's your way, say one for me. If nothing else, good thoughts. Much appreciated. I love you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. I may or may not talk about the Kimmel thing. Probably not. There's just so much silliness on all sides of that equation. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Don't forget, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.